Good afternoon. I'm Marissa Yamane. Another media briefing from Hawaii County Civil Defense is about to get underway regarding the volcanic emergency. Now, while we wait for that to start, we do want to bullet point the latest information. Still 15 fissures in and around Leilani Estates and Lani Puna Gardens. There still isn't any lava coming out of those fissures. It's still taking a break, but there's been a lot of volcanic gas, hazardous sulfur dioxide still coming out of those fissures. So as a precaution, people who live in Lower Puna between Kapoho and Kalapana, they're advised to be on alert in the event of possible gas emissions as well as volcanic eruptions. Be prepared to evacuate on short notice. According to scientists at the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory, quote, earthquake activity and ground deformation continue and additional outbreaks in the general area of Leilani Estates are likely. Now, we do want to toss it over now to Sarah Madison. She's standing by live outside of Civil Defense, outside of the Emergency Operations Center in Hilo. Sarah.
All right, thank you for joining us. Tell us, what's the latest today?
Well, today's activity is pretty much just gassing is what's affecting the environment. And I'll let the folks from Hawaiian Volcanoes Observatory give you the information on what the volcano is doing as far as intrusions wise. So we're continuing with the evacuation process, letting folks in to take care of their goods. We still have the several sites. Let's see, Leilani Estates, Lani Puna, and then the Ala-Ili Road, and there's another spur road off 130, Highway 130, that's impacted or evacuated right now. We're kind of moving in the direction, if this activity continues, for the possibility of additional roads being shut down. So we're going out and messaging to the adjacent communities, preparation notices, maybe suggesting voluntary evacuation, trying to get them prepared for if it does go to the point where additional roads are shut off or additional inundation, lava inundation might be occurring. So that's what we're working on today.
Suspect that might be happening at additional inundation.
We're taking into account basically the entire area from Wawa all the way to Kalapana. That area would be all somehow affected, whether it was inundation or just being isolated.
If there was flow activity that were to cover 137 on that side, what's the status of 130? I mean, we know it's closed, but is it passable if it needs to be?
We are preparing, working with State Highways and our Department of Public Works to stabilize the crack section with enough material so that vehicles can escape out of that area.
Is there still a steam issue on the fissure above 130? I know that was an issue yesterday.
It's not impacting the roadway. Fortunately, the wind direction won't impact there. And as of the last report, the activity was status quo from yesterday.
All right, are there any precautionary measures for people living between Kalapana to Kapoho?
Like I said, we're going out and trying to get them to realize what the danger is, what the impact could be. So having them prepare. Whether they're going to evacuate or, get their things together in order. If they need to evacuate at a moment's notice, they'll have that, or start making plans, at least for that.
How are you notifying them that they should prepare?
Well, we've done several things already. We've put out our radio message on the local radios. We've put out our mass messaging via text, email, and on our websites, Facebook, Twitter. And then we're actually going door to door now.
Are you more concerned about the isolation for those people, or more about them being because of the lava eruption in that area?
It's both. Yeah, it's both. Some, just by the nature of the area, some are more at risk for inundation. Others are more at risk just of isolation, but that whole area could be impacted. So we just cover that whole zone.
If areas are isolated, what can be done to help people who are still there?
We've got some other resources as far as considering taking in supplies, water and food to them.
How would you get that to them?
Aviation or sea.
Can you give us any updates on Puna Geothermal regarding the wells and cracks found in the site?
Let's see. We're working on coming up with a strategy to deal with the wells. And as far as the cracks in them, there's been no update to that. And like I said, there's been no activity in that area today. So
HVO said earlier today that the dike apparently is moving northeast. Are you getting that sense? So is the ground going up as the dike moves?
there is deformation as the dike moves, definitely, so cracking and so forth.
And so we're assuming that the lava flow is coming behind that dike, is pushing it further northeast?
Well, yeah, there will be magma behind the dike or associated with the dike.
It's getting closer to the surface.
That's the report I've heard.
So can we expect there would be eruptions right there where that dike is?
Since we've got Hawaiian Volcanoes Observatory here, and they're the experts, and that's probably a good question for them.
We've continued to record earthquakes in the lower part of the East Rift Zone, and also we have monitors, a GPS station that is started to move again to the northeast, northwest. So the station is moving. It's being pushed aside by the magma below ground that's moving down the rift zone. And that magma that's moving is coming from further up the rift zone. And so there's a very long section of the rift zone that has fresh magma into it. And the big question is from where along that big section of rift zone that extends from Kapoho all the way up above Highway 130, where along that could activity occur? And basically it's anywhere. And so that's one of the main reasons why the area of the south coast of Kilauea is hazardous at the moment. It's just not known where along that rift zone's future activity could occur, if it does occur.
Dr. Jim Kawahikawa yesterday was talking about old lava in Leilani Estates and being a little more viscous and a little bit more sticky and basically not moving. With what you guys are seeing in the incursion, any way to know whether or not we're looking at more of the same, or is it potential for a much more fluid and therefore a greater flow risk?
Right, so the lava that has erupted so far along those 15 fissures has a chemistry signal that says the magma's been stored in the rift zone for a long time, a few decades. So the most likely source of that lava is the intrusion that occurred in 1955. We don't know for sure exactly, but that's the most likely source. So what we're really looking for in any future fissure that becomes active is the change in chemistry that would suggest magma from the Pu'uo'o area has actually arrived and is now erupting. And in that case, then we're tapping the fresh, hot, more fluid lavas, and so there could be a change in the style of activity from this intermittent fissure to a longer fissure, more fluid flows, cover a little bigger area, until it finally settles down perhaps to one vent. But that's a lot of speculation to try to describe what's going to happen in the future.
Can you talk about how you think the lava is now shallower or at a shallower depth?
It's really very difficult to resolve the depth of the magma. We try to infer that by the earthquake locations, and due to some of the landowners allowing us to install some stations there, we have some better handle on those earthquake locations. But there's no clear trend that it's going from, say, 2 miles deep up to a half a mile deep. No clear trend. There's so much seismicity associated with this magma moving into the rift zone. I think that from our perspective, the system is charged. It's ready to erupt in perhaps the same location, perhaps a little different location, and we may not get much additional warning before that happens.
Any changes today at Halemaumau crater?
There haven't been too many changes today. There were a couple of small ashy plumes earlier this morning, and we think those were caused by rock falls falling into the deep crater. It's deepening, and just that rockfall dust and ash coming up to the surface. So we haven't seen any stronger explosive activity than we've seen in the past several weeks. Continued overall deflation of the summit, which suggests the magma column is still withdrawing, still going lower beneath the surface.
Is that magma then going downrift or just pooling somewhere else?
The most likely scenario is that the magma is moving into the upper East Rift Zone and mixing with some of the magmas that are already there. But it's no way of us to tell how far down the Rift Zone magmas from the summit might be going.
Quickly, with concerns of sulfur dioxide, are there any concerns with water quality? I know a lot of people in Lower Puna have encatchments. Is that possibly contaminated?
Well, some communities deal with that already on this island, high acid levels, and it kind of hasn't shown any effects. There's ways to balance it by putting baking soda into your water tank, but the worst fear is fallout, say from either ash or a vent. So that's the worst thing.
But right now, it's safe to drink.
Yes.
In the basin area, how many residents are you concerned about that should be evacuating or could be isolated? Is there a number?
The basin area?
I think you called it basin area, but sorry, but southeast part of the island that could get cut off, could get isolated?
We're estimating less than 2,000.
Less than 2,000.
Less than 2,000 people could be trapped, or not trapped, but
I guess you could look at it that way,
Yeah.
but yes.
And knowing that this is going to be a situation that's going to be continuing for the foreseeable future, and who knows exactly how long, any update on plans for long-term sheltering and those types of situations? So obviously there's storage issues all over town and a lot of concerns about what the long-term sheltering solution is.
We're exploring some aspects, county property areas that we've got some developed infrastructure to put them in. So we're still looking at that and see what kind of support we can get to maybe improve those sites so people can move to them.
And the concern about the wellheads, you had mentioned at the meeting there were some concerns. Is there more information on those wellheads at GPV? You're concerned about how, I'm not sure, you had said there's some hazards with the wellheads, maybe filling it with water or something.
With, at the meeting,
Last night's meeting.
I did talk about about PGV yesterday.
But they said there's still concerns out there, even though they took away the...
Well, we're looking at the wells, definitely, and Tom Trask is tasked with, leading that portion of it. So, waiting on them, the experts, to tell us, what will work best, I guess.
what's the message of people in Volcano? There is a summit eruption, a new eruption of some sort. Should they evacuate or shelter in place?
Well, at this point, talking to the folks from Hawaiian Volcanoes Observatory, is that at this point there's no need for evacuation. We're putting out a message for folks, how to deal with ash. If they're in a car, stay in your car. Drive carefully, get through that area. If you're at home, close your home up after the ash is, clear or through falling. Check your water systems and so forth.
Highway 11 goes real close to the summit. May that need to be closed if there's that kind of event?
Yeah, so we've got our crews. It's a state highway, so they're alerted to what might happen. And so yesterday, was it yesterday? Whatever day that last big ash plume went up, we sent crews out to get a status on that road. So we're ready to take a look at it, close it down if we need to.
And 130, how soon can that be ready for people to cross, if needed?
We're still getting assessment on that. I think it'll be pretty quick. As in our discussions, the way they described it, I think it'll be pretty quick. But today they're putting their focus on railroad, making sure railroad is available if anything comes up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right.
Do you have a moment to call? You gotta go.
Thank you so much.
All right, Marissa. So that was civil defense, and we learned that, again, the major concern is sulfur dioxide in the evacuation area, and they're also letting residents from Kalapana to Kapoho know to be prepared to evacuate. They're also looking at access points if in case access does get cut off. We'll keep you updated on the latest online and on air. For now, I'll send it back to you, Marissa.
Sarah Madison, thank you so much, live outside of Civil Defense Headquarters. And once again, the officials are also monitoring the seismic activity. There's been a swarm of earthquakes, nothing as big as the 6.9 or 5.4 from last week, but they are monitoring the seismic activity. So we have more on that, plus the change in winds. We don't have the trade winds. You might be looking outside and see that it's kind of foggy. We want to go to Justin Cruz with more on both of those things. Justin.
All right, thank you very much, Marissa. Let's take a look at our winds. These are the winds across the islands. Actually, I'm going to punch up that graphic so that you can see the wind direction. We don't have trades, and it's been pretty much light and variable winds for much of the state. And of course, when we have light and variable winds, we do have the increased VOG threat. But trades will be returning this weekend. We'll have more on that. But future winds do show the trades returning to a more northeasterly direction, and that is going to wipe out much of the VOG for the state. Now, yesterday, we were looking at just pretty much the Big Island seeing that VOG plume. That is not the case today. Much of that VOG has now moved across the islands. You can see, even if you go outside, you can see it in the air. Unfortunately, that VOG has spread statewide. It's not just a Big Island issue now, although levels over the Big Island, including windward Ka'u, the Kona coast, it's very high, even up through Hilo, all the way along the Hamakua coastline. So right now, it is a statewide issue with increased VOG levels and sulfur dioxide gases. Fortunately, when the trades return tomorrow, it'll push that VOG plume back out to sea, with the exception of the Kona coast and areas such as Ka'u as well as the Puna district. So thankfully, we do have some relief in terms of trade winds pushing out that VOG, but we have to deal with it today and tonight, maybe even through early tomorrow morning. Talk about some quakes, and you'll notice that there are two distinct areas that we're seeing some swarms in terms of quakes. We're seeing areas such as Leilani Estates and Kapoho, and also areas near the volcano itself, Kilauea Summit. So these quakes here have been the biggest today, 3.4 magnitude. Of course, that's not anything near we saw 6.9 last week, but most of the quakes we've seen so far have been magnitude 1s, magnitude 2s, and then the occasional magnitude 3.4. And clearly, there's another swarm in the Kapoho area, and that's why they're really watching, because these quakes are an indication of magma movement under the ground. And again, these quakes will probably continue. It has been over at least 100 quakes per day since the movement of magma and since Pu'u'o'o started to empty out. Here's the lay of the land. We have this evacuation area near Ala'ili Road. That was from yesterday. And then Leilani Estates, of course, which have seen these fissures. And then Puna Geothermal to the northeast, and Lani Puna Gardens, another area that's in the evacuation zone. And then now they're saying, civil defense officials are saying, and all these areas all the way through Kapoho should be prepared to evacuate. And that's all the way to the ocean to the northeast of Leilani Estates. So it's quite an extensive area and quite isolated as well. Marissa, back to you.
Justin, thank you. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park remains closed. It closed as of last night in anticipation of steam explosions once the lava lake goes below the water table. Now, there haven't been any steam explosions yet. They have seen some of the dust and ash kick up like we've seen over the past couple of days, but no steam explosions just yet. Now, the media isn't even being allowed into the park, so Howard Dashevsky spent the day in the neighboring community, Volcano Village, and joins us with more. Howard.
Aloha, Marissa. We are up here truly in God's country. It seems so removed from everything that we've been seeing over the past few days, but we're actually right here in Volcano Village. And if you look, it's kind of hard to see in the clouds, but that is the plume from the Halema'uma'u crater right there. And it's been going on and off throughout the day. Some of the steam releases bigger than others. And the reason we wound up here is because one of our viewers, through our reported feature on our website, sent us a photo this morning and said, wow, look at this plume. And so we came up to the home here of Susan Cabral. And Susan, as I said, this is God's country, but yet Madam Paley is right there.
It is. It's right there. We enjoy it. We really do enjoy watching what's going on over there. Of course, we're fairly safe. We're a good distance away from the actual fallout or the plumes and everything.
Your concern is today's a beautiful trade wind weather day,
Yes.
but if the wind shifted and you have sheep and horses and pigs and chickens, that could be a problem if the wind were to come here. You also have a water catchment system, and that's the concern, true?
That is. And those of us who have respiratory problems, heart conditions, any of that sulfur dioxide coming over is really harmful. If there were an ash fallout, that would be a big concern. It could get into our water systems, plug up our pumps. We do have concerns for our animals, if we have enough shelter for them, to keep the ash from falling on them and hurting them.
So you've been paying attention, keeping up with all the bulletins, and more importantly, you're watching it right here.
Yes. They did have a meeting inside the visitor center a couple of nights ago. We were able to watch it on television live and heard the scientists' cautions and reports. And I'm just glad that the trade winds are going that way.
All right. Well, best of luck to you. Appreciate
you.
it. Thanks for reaching out to us. And Marissa, once again, I mean, off and on all day long, the plumes have been rising. We know that the lava lake continues to deflate inside the crater. Will that big event happen? The one that scientists decided was worth closing the park for? Well, we're all sitting tight, and we'll all find out together. For now, we're going to send it back to you in Honolulu.
Howard, thank you so much. And to sum things up again, 15 fissures still yet, 117 acres covered by lava, and 36 structures destroyed, so still the same amount. Even though the lava is not coming out of the fissures, this is by no means over. Back in 1955, the lava actually paused for about 5 days. So history often repeats itself. We'll have the very latest on our evening newscast, starting with our 5 o'clock news. You can also go to our website, KHON2.com, as well as follow our Facebook page, our KHON2 Facebook page. We do live updates on Facebook Live. And I'll see you back here in about an hour and a half. Thanks for joining us.